Before I start gluing, I want to show one nuance. Sometimes it happens that there is not always time to continue working. In order not to confuse the parts that are already finished, they must be marked. Which I did. I cut a triangle. 2 triangles and marked them with different signs. Therefore, when I glue after a certain period of time, I will not have problems assembling the part. Although we do everything according to the drawing, it often happens that the details are at least a little bit different in size. It's just not immediately visible. This is how. That is, on one triangle I made a stroke, indicating the arrows, and on the other triangle I put X's. These are the ones, because later, when we paint the house, they will still not be visible. And the second nuance. When you process parts with a needle file, it is very convenient to process them if the needle file lies on the table. And so, when the finger lies on the needle file, it seems to be a continuation of it. Because the body is arranged in such a way that we are trying to connect the finger and the hand. Therefore, the part does not jump off the needle file. Thus, it is very convenient to process parts. And now let's continue the lesson. Begin to glue. I put a piece of cardboard. You can put a sheet of paper in order to prevent excess glue from sticking to the surface of our ruler. And I want to tell you about this glue. How good is he? Here he has several steps. I cut off the smallest one, because in order to glue small parts it is not at all necessary to cut off a large piece so that there is a large hole. There is a small hole here, and it happens that during work this hole dries up. I recommend having a pin like this to poke through that hole from time to time. And it worked just fine. You need quite a bit of glue. Therefore, it will last for a long time, and I recommend closing the hole with a lid every time. In order to align the details, you can use this stick. Press and align the pieces properly. You can also apply our impression. And after a while the parts will dry. In the meantime, I will spread the second part of our triangle. They can also be aligned. Gluing time is a longer process than cutting sticks. We'll have to wait a bit. Further, we'll stick it on while it dries. We press. Also press. We move a little. Our sticks, so that they do not stick to the cardboard or, in your case, to paper. So our triangle is almost ready. And these of our sticks are almost glued together. As you can see, the glue flows out a little here. For this I put cardboard. Glue can be smeared a little with your finger. Smear. Move a little bit. That's all. All our triangle with glue is ready. In the same way I will glue the second triangle. We have a wall height of 8 centimeters. And before I start gluing, I want to put out the sticks limiters, which I will be guided by. When building our wall, I have already processed all the sticks. And now let's start gluing. It is not necessary to put something under the parts here, because the glue will be on top of the part. And we will glue two components of one wall in parallel, in order to focus on the height of each of the halves. That is, it will look like this. The sticks will be glued with an overlap. And so on. I want to draw your attention to the fact that I am guided by this strip. It will be a guide. so that the details lie down exactly. I press it so that the glue grabs well. Well, I also press the upper part of the part to the drawing. I apply glue along the very edge of the part. Since the glue is strong, it will be enough to see the part fits very well and sticks. To save you time, I will glue all the necessary parts and already show the finished result. So I'm almost completely glued this wall. And before I finish, I also want to show you a couple of nuances. You can glue two halves at the same time. The quality of the glue allows you to do this. Also stick one side. And the other side. Further, we look to be exactly. Also adjust this side well along this line. You also need to make sure that the wall starts exactly from this level and also ends exactly along this line, so that it is parallel to our part. And, accordingly, so that the height of one part is equal to the height of the other part. And press. The fact is that when we press, the glue begins to protrude. To remove it, we take such a part that we cut off for a triangle with a sharp tip and draw it over the place of gluing. As you can see, nothing remains. When the glue dries completely, then we get a smooth, clean part. 2. We do the same. And with the second detail, I wanted to tell you about these nuances. And so I finished gluing our wall. In the same way I will glue the second wall. Well, now I see that I got a height of a little more than 8 centimeters. If measured with a ruler, then this is 8 centimeters 3 millimeters. But it's not scary, we just have to build all the other walls exactly at this height. The fact that there is a small gap between the walls is not scary, because we will make an overlay that will close it. And an overlay will also be made on the sides, although now they may not look very even. Here, here, and here. Well, this lesson is over. See you in the next lesson.